So we are going to show you how to replace this little blinds that my son broke last night. Basically what we're going to do is to take these two pieces out and replace it with the extra pieces that we got.
I want to zoom out a little bit so you can see. You can see there's a chunk missing from the blinds. So I've already kind of got a head start on this. So this is a kind of a blind where if you raise it up, it will automatically retract, and if you pull it down, it kind of stays down. So this one's a little bit tricky. This doesn't have pull strings. As you can see up here, I actually put a wedge inside there, or an awl, to stop it from winding back up again. So going up into the top of this one, you can see, kind of dark. This is better. There's a little box here. You can't actually, it's just too dark. Let me pause. Oh, there you can kind of see it. There's like a little winding box. This is the box that takes up the slack from the string. So when you raise up the blind, like if you take it down below and you pick it up, this little box will take up the slack string. So if you don't stick something into the little hole over here, there's like a little paddle wheel that spins around and takes up the slack. It's like a little spool. If you don't put something inside it to stop it, when you release the string to release the this is the string that is pulled up to the top. I mean, it's when you raise the blinds up, this is the string that gets that holds it up. So when you pull it up, it'll stay. I should have taken some video of it before, but I'm already kind of a quarter of the way into the job. So anyways, it won't wind up right now. So what I did was I put some twisty tabs on here to hold back some of these pieces so the other slats won't fall out. So these are actually some excess slats on the bottom of the shade. They could be used as spares. So I'm gonna grab like two of them, and I tied up the rest so that they don't slip out as I pull up the wind-up string, which pulls out in the middle here. So to get the wind-up string, there's these little plastic nubs down here, and there's a knot, so that it takes up the knot, and it's stuck into the little hole when it's fully wound up, so you don't see it, and it looks nice. So to pull up these tension strings, you stick a paper clip or something in there, or a nail, and just kind of pull the knot out. And here you can see it's a little slip knot. I'm marked on here, marked on the knot so I know where to put the knot again when I put it back together. So I have to undo the knot and release the slats, because they're all tied together by that one string, which is hard to see because of the contrast. But yeah, so there's the string in the middle that has to come out to release this. So on both sides. So be sure to mark it. Otherwise, I'm not really sure. I mean, maybe the blinds might not pull up straight anymore. At least from past projects I found, if you don't get this knot exactly right, the blinds will come up like slanted, and it kind of sucks. So as long as you put it back in the same location, it should pull up evenly like it did before. And as you can see, they're slack. That's because I put the driver up there. I put a wedge into the wheel, so now I can work with it. So I'm gonna undo these, undo this knots, pull out a couple slats, pull out the two broken ones over here, toss these, put the new ones up, and restring the strings back into the slats. So yep. So you can see I undid the knot, and the little marking is right there. So pay attention to the kind of knot that you put back on here. The way they did the knot is they take a loop of the string and they tie that into a knot. So that way the knot will be bigger. So if you just tie a single knot like into the string, it might be too small to fit into the hole, fit back and get locked into the hole. So anyways, going back. So these ones are already broken. Don't need to worry about pulling the string out of that one. This side I undid. Here's the two broken ones. Two broken ones up here. Now I can pull the string out and these should come totally free like that. See? Just pull them out. Awesome. Okay. Oh yeah, the other side. So this one, pull the string out, release all of them. Just grab two pieces off the bottom, I guess. Here, see? 1, 2. Grab 2 off the bottom. Don't need those. Okay. Hard to see what we're doing. We are. Okay, stick them back up as replacements. One and 2. There we go. Stick one up. Now when you're doing the job, sometimes they flip upside down. So this one flipped upside down. Be sure you don't leave it upside down, otherwise when you restring it, you're gonna have one slat upside down or something, and that sucks. So save yourself the bother of having to undo it again and step back. So here, roll right side up, grab the string, and stick it back into the hole the same way the other ones go. So it's on the right hand side of all these things, so I'm going to keep it on the right hand side so it doesn't get tangled up. By the other ones I mean, see there's this little ladder string inside here. Make sure that the string stays on one side of that, otherwise it could get tangled and that would be no fun. When you pull it up, it'll get tangled. So restring it. I'm restringing on the right hand side of it. And stick it through all the pieces again, all the slats. And since I tied the other ones down below together, I should just be able to get them all in one shot. So make sure you stuff all this ladder string to one side and stick it through. See it? Yeah. Stick it right into the hole. And that's like 10 of them at once. Cool. And there's one more at the bottom that I didn't tie, so feed that guy. Okay. And we have some excess ladder string on the bottom. So it's your option if you want to slice it off and redo, take up the slack. Oops, it's upside down. There it is. Or you can tuck it inside the base, stick inside the little hole so that it's not seen anymore. I'm just gonna be lazy about it because it might break again, knowing our son. So I'm just gonna leave the slack there. I don't really care. And there we go, that's one side. And just repeat for the other side. Take all the ladder string, stick it to it looks like it's coming off. Oh. The string is going on the left-hand side, so the ladder string is on the outside. So stick that on the outside so I keep it out of the way, and Take this guy. Take your, I'm not sure what you call it, the tension string or something. Stick it back in there. Yeah, oops. Yeah, there. Okay. And these blinds are pretty straightforward. Stick up, the leather string's still in the way. Stick it in the hole. That. Okay, I'll just let it right side up. Good. Stick it into the last one. Okay. And there we have it. Now for the last one, you don't have to worry so much about orientation of it, the string. So it's hard to show on the camera, but looking here, see that? See this little grommet? See how it's got a little hole right in the middle? We're going to stick the string, the pulling string, through that little hole, tie the knot, and the knot's going to get stuck in this hole right here, and it'll hold the blinds up if you raise it up or pull it down. It'll be like the tension. Same for the other side. So he's got a little hole in there in the grommet. Just feed the string through there, tie the knot. Since I marked it, just tie it at the black, the black marking. Once again, make sure you do the, make a loop and you tie a knot out of the loop so the knot's big enough to fit in there. Otherwise, you might have to do like a double knot or a triple knot or something, standard knot, so it'll get stuck in the hole. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, fast forward to save you the courtesy. Okay, so I decided I'm going to trim off the excess because I just don't like the way it looks, hanging out the side instead of tucking it in. Anyway, so to do that, you have to do a couple extra steps. See right here, there's a little, those little grommets I was talking about before? You had to push them out with something. So from the back side, I use like a tiny little wrench, and I just jam it in from the back side and push out the little plastic grommets. There's 3 of them. So that's the second one. I already did the first one. Here's the third one. The little take-up string is still going in it, but you can still jam it through. Okay, so push it through, and you can pull the string out. So that's how that's done. Okay, here we are. So got the strings out, got the grommets out. Okay, so release the bottom piece, and you're gonna need to pull, work it out of the 2 little, or the 3 ladder strings. So that's one on the, there's one in the middle, one on the right, one on the left. Just unlatch it like that. Okay. Now just stick it into the one right below the last slat. Just kind of stick it into the ladder string right in the middle. Working back into all 3 of them. Make sure your orientation is correct. Make sure it's into the same hole of the ladder string after the last slat so that it doesn't come up crooked. There we go. Okay. So now you can see it's in the, so here's the last slat's gonna rest on this one, and this is in the hole right below the last slat. So, and here's the excess string. The excess string can either be stuffed back into the little hole, you know, and rest inside, or you can trim it off. Either way. I'm just gonna trim it. I have to get the scissors. Okay, so I'm gonna trim the little strings in between, cut them off so they fit, so that the string could go back into the hole easier. Just carefully snip the string off. Snip this string off. I'm not gonna need them anymore. And I could just probably just lop the bottom off, doesn't matter. So here's one of them. So just string it back in. Make sure you have your the drawstring, the tension string, stick it in the hole first. So that I can go through your grommet and take the entire grommet. So you stick the string into the grommet like so. And then you stick the grommet back into the, well, I'll do that later. Because the grommet actually holds the excess ladder string. You take the extra pieces and stick it inside in the hole, and you stick the grommet in, and it holds all the pieces in. So I'm gonna pause it and do the rest of them. Okay, so I've got the string drawn through the grommet. As you can see, I tied the knot already. So this is probably the hardest part of it all. You're making it a teeny tiny little knot because you don't have a whole lot of string and it's a pain. So you have two options. You can either disregard the little mark and use more string and make the knot easier to make. And then maybe you might have to realign it later or something. Or you can actually take a paper clip, make a little loop out of it, and pull it through the knot so you can make a really, really tiny knot. And I didn't use the paper clip. I just used my bare hands, so it's a bit tedious. You just have to be patient. Make it a little double knot up to the black mark that I made. And now you can pull it into the grommet, see? And if you want to be tidy about it, you can stick the little loop in there also, and see how it locks in the grommet nicely. Okay, so the rest of it goes take the string, the excess ladder string that you trimmed off, stick it back up through the hole. See, it pops up through the top. Stick it back in the hole to make it look tidy. Don't have excess sticking out. There you go, I got the two little pieces sticking up at the top. Just pull them up for a bit of tension. And now, you take the grommet and you just stick it back in there, and it pinches the ladder string into place, see? It'll kind of click, like that. And you have some extra ladder string up here. You can either trim it off or be lazy like me and just kind of stick it in the hole. Who cares? So, there you go. That's one of them. and you'll have some extra tension string at the time. I'm not releasing it yet because I still have to do the other side. For the middle one doesn't have a tension string. It's just a ladder string. So similar as before, stick the 2 excess pieces up the center of the hole. 1. There's the other one. Stick them nice. 2. There they are. There you go. Whoops. Okay. Put them in there. And stick in the grommet from the bottom. There you go. And the one on the end, I also tied the knot. So I just gotta feed those back in. Our son's making lots of noise. What's he doing, Kim? Stick it back up in there. Pull the excess string through. Oops. Use a little screwdriver and pop it up. There it is. And pull the grommet to hold it in place. And pull the knot into the grommet. Okay, so now you can kind of see what I did here. I just took the extra pieces of ladder string on the sides, stuffed it in the hole, stuck the grommet around them to hold them in place, and I pulled the tensioner string with the knot, wedged it back into the grommet. So now it's pretty much done. And since the knot's already here in the grommet, I can now release the spring at the top, and it's going to yank these guys back up, pull up the slack, and I won't have to worry about them getting sucked back into the spool and basically ruining the blinds. So now I can release the zip tie on there, release the twisty ties. Because I've already wound it all back up, tied it together. So now, that's how long it actually goes. It goes kind of far down there. If we don't have kids or are worried about this, about it breaking, you can always trim it, trim your blinds and custom fit them to your window. Just take off these extra ones, and that way you don't have this excess hanging down here. But since our little boy likes to climb and break things, we just left a whole bunch of extras on here in case he grabs onto a whole bunch of them, and just yanks them all, So be it. So let me go up there, I'll release the little tensioner at the top. As you can see, there's it's just dark up here. So here's the take-up mechanism. This little, this silver box. And just pull this is an awl, so it's kind of like a pointed tip screwdriver. Stuck into the little paddle wheel here. So now it's released. And now, when I raise it, the slack is taken up, see? It stays. That's a little take-up reel, putting tension on those 2 strings going through the grommets. And so to pull it back down, yank it down, release it and it stays there. But as you raise it up, there it goes. So yeah, looks pretty good. It all works fine. Now it's just being picky and taking care of the little pieces of string hanging out here. So I'm just gonna tuck them back into the grommet, you know, and hide the rest of the excess, or maybe trim it off, make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, now we're done, and my little son is having fun with stuff. So here it is. Because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, I spent the time and made it look a little bit more tidy. There it is. Looks good. It winds up. Stick it back into its little holder. Like so. And it's all done. Look at that. Looks nice. And we'll just do a short point. Raise it up. Okay, well, it holds up. And lastly, with a little bit of fiddling, had to get the ladder string back into alignment again. It winds up all nice. So to realign it, what you can do, you pull all the way down and kind of jiggle it back and forth. And make sure the ladder string kind of works back into position so that it's all next to the tension string, and it should all back up nicely. Yep, there it is. And now it's perfect. Alrighty.